Alright, hey guys, Hi-Fri here. So I got something very special for you today. I teased it in my community tab. I didn't know if you saw that yesterday, but got a little unboxing for you today. I'm going to go over another IEM, but this one is very special. So for anybody not familiar, there's a gentleman by the name of Timmy. Hi Timmy. Timmy runs the channel Gizaudio. If you want, you can check him out. But yeah, so anyway, so Timmy runs the channel Gizaudio, and he's been a friend of mine for a little while now. We've been talking for probably the past year and a half, maybe 2 years now. We talk to each other from time to time about IEMs and IEM related stuff and tuning and what makes a good IEM and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, for anyone who's not familiar with Timmy, Timmy, it has a very nice collection of IEMs. He has a lot of total IEMs like TOTL, top of the top. The Null VX was one of the first IEMs that he had mentioned on his channel earlier on. And anyway, so he's been on this journey for quite a while. Me and him have been kind of documenting our journeys and talking to each other about what we've learned in the community and what we've learned about this hobby, and just kind of shared our experiences back and forth. So, but anyway, so about a month ago, he shared with me the fact that he was working on a project with LetShuoer, and so anyway, it is finally come time to see the fruit of that project. So I hope you guys really enjoy this, because I am just absolutely stoked to check this out. Okay, so yeah, so I just received this yesterday. Been listening to it. Today was my first day off, so I got some good time in with it. I'm not going to go over sound impressions. I'm just going to go over the unboxing, and I have something special, a little special test that I'll show you guys. So just wanted to unbox it and share it with you. And yeah, so super special. Let's get into it. So anyway, so it's a 3.5 millimeter cable. That's what the 3.5 is on the back there. And then we have the back of the box that gives us some specifications. So we have 104 dB sensitivity, 20 to 20 kilohertz, 14 ohm impedance, less than 2% distortion, UV activated 3D printing material, standard cable length, and then we have the 10 millimeter liquid silicone driver and the Sonian 2389 balanced armature. So the liquid silicone driver will be taking care of the lows and the low mids, also part of the mid region, and then the 2389 will be taking care of the mids, the upper mids, and the treble area. So it is a 2-driver hybrid design, and we'll take a look at the crossover and everything. We'll take this puppy apart later, and we'll look inside and see what the guts look like. It's going to be an interesting teardown because of the construction. So just to format this video for you guys and kind of tell you how I'm going to do it. So we're 5 minutes in. I'll go over the unboxing first. Okay, so we'll unbox the IEM. I'll show you all the accessories. I got a neat little experiment over here that I'm going to do, and then after we do that, we'll kind of dive into the design of the IEM and the tuning principles behind it, and I'll kind of explain it a little bit more in depth. So for anybody that wants to stick around, feel free to stick around till the end of the video, and I'll kind of go into more detail about the IEM. So yeah, so anyway, so here's the box, and it's a little sleeve. So we pull the sleeve off, and then we have the LetShuoer name on the edge there. Cool branding. I like the branding. Generic box. It's got the little logo right there. Okay, and let's open the box here. Oh man, so here we go. We got the Galileo. So this is what we're greeted with, this little pamphlet here, and then we have the IEMs underneath. But before we take a look at the IEMs, let's just take a look inside here real quick. So we have this little instruction manual. Here is a frequency response graph. Okay, so there we go. Look at that real quick. And then it just goes over wearing, it goes over warranty, obvious warnings, don't expose to heat or moisture, any of that stuff, warranty clauses. Okay, So support channels, here we go. So this is their information if you need to get a hold of them. Okay, and then we got a couple things here. All right, so this is their information card. This is for LetShuoer. Okay, and it has their Discord channel, Facebook, WhatsApp, their website, and then their AliExpress link. Feel free, if you guys want to pause this, you can pause it and take a snapshot of the QR codes there if you want to visit any of those. Cool little card. It's got that like nice little embossing on it. All right, and then we have our warranty card. Okay, I'm not sure, or the registration form, I'm not sure where to send this to. I would imagine it would be on the back of the box somewhere. You can contact them, the information inside here if you need to, but this is the registration card. So, and it is, so right here it says LetShuoer supports all of their products for 1 year after the date of sale. So just a cool thing to keep in mind. If you guys have any issues with the IM, be sure to contact them. It might be a good idea to contact Hi-Fi Go first and just let them know, and then ask them the appropriate channels. But so anyway, at least they give you this. It would be helpful if they had an address on there. But yeah, it's understandable. So anyway, so there's that, and then we got a little QC sticker there. So that's all the information that we are greeted with. So I will put that off to the side, and then we have the main show right here. All right, these are beautiful IMs, by the way. So I'm just gonna zoom in here just a little bit. Okay, just want to show you guys these IMs. These things are wicked nice. Alright, so here, you know what? Let's pull them out. Alright. So for anybody that's not, anybody that's not too familiar with LetShuoer, they are responsible for IMs like the shower tape, the shower tape Pro. They got like a little earbud one, the EJ07, EJ07M. They got all kinds of IMs. One of their most popular would probably be the EJ07, and then they also have the collaboration with HBB. But yeah, so anyway, this is the first collaboration with Timmy, and I just absolutely love these faceplates here. It's got like almost like a galactic kind of swirl pattern here. Very, very, very cool. Very, very beautiful faceplates. It got almost like a ring of Saturn right there. Super, super beautiful. Super cool looking. And then we have our 2-pin connectors on the side there. All right. Got the mesh screen. Sorry, these are gonna get a little bit dirty. And then inside, so you see we got the 10mm driver. All right. And then there's a little dampener right there, and then we have our balanced armature. Okay, so the balanced armature inside, that's the Sonian 2389, and then you can just barely make it out, but there's 2 sound tubes inside there. So you get 2 sound tubes and 2 dampeners and 2 drivers. All right, but yeah, very nice construction. Very, very neat. Looks very good. Very, very well built. As far as the price goes, I'm not sure the pricing yet. I would imagine they would be somewhere in the $100 range. Probably $120. Hopefully $100, because I know people like nice round numbers. But yeah, I would imagine somewhere in the $100 range. For being a dual driver. But yeah, very, very nice, very, very lovely IMs. Comfortable too. They got a nice universal ear shape to them, so they don't stick out in any way. There's no sharp edges. Everything's very nice and rounded. Yeah, good build quality. So very, very nice job from LetShuoer. I think they did a very, very good job with these IMs. And yeah, so that's the IMs themselves. We'll just put them back here real quick. And then so you get this nice carrying case. Now, I've watched a few review videos, people reviewing the IMs, and as soon as they get to this case, they have major issues opening it. Okay, I'm just going to demonstrate a little trick for you guys. So when you get this case, there is a way to open it that is easier than people struggling trying to pull on this clasp here, because this is almost impossible to open unless you squeeze it. There's just a little bit of give. Okay, see that? So all you gotta do is just squeeze it a little bit and you can pop it off. So just squeeze the case and boom, there you go. Alright, so yeah, it'll open. Okay, so anyway, so let's take a look inside real quick. It's gonna be a little hard to fit it all in frame. Let me just zoom out just a little bit. Alright, so we got this beautiful 2-pin cable here. Alright, it's got like what is it, like a gray and gold kind of pattern there. This is typical for LetShuoer for their cables. They got this nice, it's almost like a graphene and silver kind of thing. And then we got the LetShuoer logo on the 3.5mm. And then we have the Gizaudio logo right next to it. We got our little chin divider there, and we have some super tight ear hooks. So these are some of the tightest I've seen, which is good. That's a good thing, because that means they don't stick out far and they fit very tightly against the ear. And then we also have this nice Velcro strap here, and then you get a little chin cinch on it. So it's a very nice cable, good cable. Yeah, not much to say there, but just all around very high quality, very nice, looks good. And then we have our cleaning brush. Okay, so there's a cleaning brush, and then there's a little storage area right here for the cleaning brush, so you can just snap it right on there. Alright, we got 3 sets of tips that are sitting right here. These are kind of special, so they are wide bore, almost similar to like the Truth Ear or like a Blessing 2 kind of tip. They have a very wide nozzle area. Let me just break this out real quick so I'll break out my calipers. So yeah, about 5, yeah, about 5mm. So very big, nice big bore on those, which is cool. And then let's see what else we got. So we have another set of tips in here. Get 3 more tips. These are a little bit different. They have more of a narrow, come on, no, focus on my hand. Oh my god, dude. There we go. Alright, so yeah, so these are a little bit smaller, a little more compliant, and it also looks like, I just compare these two real quick. So yeah, it looks like the bore size is almost the same. It's just a little bit different. Yeah, so it looks like the bore is just a little bit bigger on the white ones, and then a little bit more narrow on the black tips. So, but yeah, so you get 6 pairs of ear tips. You get the cable, you get the nice little cleaning brush, and then you get this really cool case. And I just want to show you guys a trick with the case real quick. So this case is lined with rubber. I'm going to take the IMs, I'm going to just chuck them inside there. Alright. I'm going to close the case. You guys are going to hate me for this. Alright. I got some water here. Alright, and I'm gonna start my my stopwatch. Just give me 1 second while I get set up. Alright, so this case, let's talk about this case real quick. So like I said, a lot of people are having problems with the case, just having problems opening it. All you gotta do, like I said, is just kind of squeeze it, give it a little squeeze, and it'll open right up for you, okay? No issues there whatsoever, but you just gotta be aware, and you gotta kind of squeeze it a little bit. It stores everything very nicely. It's super durable, okay? So it's not a bad case whatsoever. It's a really nice case. You just got to be careful with this. You can't be prying on it. You got to kind of squeeze the case together and open it up that way. It will break in over time, this hinge, so just to let you guys know that. But anyway, I'm going to take this and I'm going to dunk it in this bowl of water here. I'm going to hold it underneath for 1 minute. So let's just set it right there. Because I just want to prove a theory here that this is water resistant. Now you will see that it floats, so that is really cool. So if you ever, like, you know, get in like a plane crash or something like that, your IMs will float. That is not an issue. So yeah, so pretty cool. Anyway, alright, timer starts now. So while I hold this underwater, and I might as well move it around too so I get any kind of bubbles out of it. You know, you don't want bubbles in your case, right? But yeah, so while I hold this down, so Timmy from Gizaudio. Timmy is a cool guy, man. Like I said, friend of mine, we've been talking for a while now. He lives in Japan, but yeah, so he runs the channel Gizaudio. If you guys haven't seen it already, check it out. He's got some super awesome IMs. Some of them make me so jealous because I wish I had IMs like that, man. I'll tell you what, they are just like the coolest things. But yeah, this is his first collaboration, and I'm so proud of him just because it's LetShuoer, Timmy, and then you got what is it, Hi-Fri Go. So, and shout out to Hi-Fri Go for sending this to me. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna wait 2 minutes. But yeah. So I can't wait. It's gonna be really hard to tear these apart. I just want to let you guys know that in advance. It's really gonna suck. I'd hate to do it, but I just gotta do it, I guess. But yeah, so just wanted to let you know, full disclosure, they did send me these, so Hi-Fri Go did send me these for review. I did not pay for them, but I told them I would give them my honest opinion, and so you guys will be getting that soon, very soon. And I also have a few other reviews and teardowns that I need to do, so I gotta get on it. Alright, so 2 minutes in the bath. Let's pull her out. Alright, I'm gonna pause here for a second, and then we'll dry her off and see what's inside. Alright, quick change of scenery. And I got some paper towels to get all this water off. But yeah, I'm very curious to see what is inside. See how much water got in here, if any. There we go. Alright, so we got our cable. We got the IMs. Let's pull the IMs out. Sorry, that little bit of water is from me. Yeah, nothing, completely dry. Totally dry inside. You got there's a little bit of water on the edge. So, I mean, that's going to happen because behind this silicone here, there's not anything to keep the water out. But the inside itself is totally dry. So yeah, super cool. Perfect, awesome. Let me just make sure there's no water on the IMs. Yeah, not a drop in there. Cool, cool. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed that little experiment there. I just, I needed to do it for my own satisfaction, but anyway, so yeah, so that's what you get with the new LetShuoer X Gizaudio Galileo, and yeah, it's nice overall, very nice presentation. It's a nice little package. It's gonna be a cool IM for sure. Actually, you know what? Before we finish this out and I start talking about the construction of the IMs, let's just take this cable apart real quick, and let's just put the cable on the IMs. See, so this is the left side. Alright, so there's the left side. There we go, then we get the right side. Cool, cool. And then I am going to use the small tips just because I like small tips. I don't like using big ear tips unless I have to. The closer to the eardrum, the better, in my opinion. I like very deep fitting IMs, at least as deep as I can get them. But yeah, so this is what you get right here. This oh, by the way, so this chin cinch is super tight. It will take some time to kind of break in a little bit, so just keep that in mind. It is a little bit tight. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's supposed to be tight, so it you know, works. But it is, yeah, it's just a little bit on the tight side, so just be careful with it. And I'll just wrap that up. Oh, come on. Oh, I failed. Here, I'll wrap it the other way. Man, those ear hooks are super tight. So yeah, there's a little bit of memory in the cable. It's not the softest cable, but yeah, it's not bad at all. Very decent, and I like the contrasty colors. It looks really good. It's a little hard to see with this red background that I have now. The black one's wet, so I just had to pull it off. But yeah, I mean, it looks good. It looks very cool. So anyway, so that's the end of the unboxing, guys. Just wanted to show you that real quick. Huge thanks again to Hi-Fi Go. Huge thanks to Timmy and to LetShuoer for putting this together. You guys are awesome. Yeah, man, this is gonna be a real cool IM. So I can't wait to see when they release it, and we'll know the price when it comes on launch day. Just waiting for the factory to be ready. Yeah, so super awesome. So thanks for watching, guys. Anybody that wants to stick around, I'll talk about the construction a little bit. We'll get into some of the background of the IMs, and then that'll be the end of the video. Alright, guys, so let me just sign into my phone here real quick. So I had a conversation with Timmy, and I asked him. I said, let's see, where is it at? I told him, so what was the point of the naming convention of Galileo? Like, what is the lore behind it, or what's the purpose behind the name? And one of the things that he told me, so he said that basically that Galileo is the start to a naming theme of like famous individuals. It's something that we haven't really seen in IMs. And basically, the reason for the name Galileo is because he says he chose him for the effortless sound replay, which is something he was talking about earlier. And he said when he thinks of vast open space, things floating through and just moving smoothly, he thinks of these IEMs. So basically the IEMs represent space, because anybody that's not familiar with Galileo, he was an astronomer, and famous astronomer, and yeah, so anyway, so they have this whole kind of theming convention, which is kind of like outer space, just like the vast expanse, and hence the front here. This is, so for anybody that's not familiar, so pretty much every, not all IMs, but most IMs have kind of like a theming to them. There's a point behind the branding. There's an aesthetic, okay? So with these, so for instance, before you even open the box, you have a doorway here. So that's like a perfect introduction to the product, because it's like a doorway to a new dimension, to a new galaxy, fits in with the Galileo theme. I'm not sure what the echoes of the deep is. Maybe, that's just another term for like outer space. It's the echoes of the deep. It's the unknown. I don't know, the unexplored. It's what we hear coming from, different areas of unexplored territory or something. But anyway, so yeah, so the theming fits, and yeah, so it's got the Galileo name there, and then you have the doorway to a new galaxy. At least that's the way that I read it. And then once you get into the box, then you're greeted with the same picture. Obviously, they're going to use the image on all the branding, but there's no more doorway. So we have been introduced to the great beyond, to this galaxy of sound per se. And then same thing with the IMs. You get to the face plates, and you have this like cosmic swirl kind of pattern for the face plates. So very fitting, kind of like branding, very, very neat kind of identity to the IMs. So I just thought that would be interesting to share with you guys. But yeah, so basically Galileo, it's the first in a line of famous intellectuals, which is cool because each one has like their own backstory and whatnot. And I would love to see a little bit of like lore mixed in with the IMs, because it's not just about the sound, but it's also about the aesthetic and the overall theming and everything. Like, it really ties it together. I mean, you see it in Moondrop IMs, you see it in Truth Ear, which is basically Moondrop, but I mean, you see it in lots of companies. Trying to think of who else does it. A lot of the, more so the collaborations, like Hawaii Bad Boy, he does a lot of that stuff too. There's a lot of like Hawaiian themes, different names that have various meanings to him. So that's one thing that you see pretty often in these collaborations. Sometimes it can be simple, just something really minor, but I honestly think that it lends a bit of credibility, and it makes the experience a little more enjoyable for the majority of people when there's some thought and some effort put into the story behind the IMs and like the theming of it, because every sound signature is different, you know. So when I'm tuning an IM, like I'll tune for various things, but I'll go down this rabbit hole where like if I'm tuning an IM, I start to hear different sounds and different textures, and it kind of brings me into this place, or gives me this kind of feeling. And there's like a motif, you know, and so you can tie that in with the packaging and the branding and everything, and I don't know, it just makes for a nice cohesive experience. And I'm sure there are people that could care less about that kind of stuff, and I'm sure there are people out there who really enjoy it. Personally, I enjoy it because that shows me that there was a little bit of thought and effort put into the product, and it's not just some like spit it out there one-off kind of thing. It's not a 3-letter model name or whatever that's just, you know, generated from a random character generator. There's a little bit of passion behind it, you know, there's a little bit of thought and a little bit of effort. So anyway, with that being said, for all of you who are still here, because I know some of you guys like to watch throughout the entire video, I do apologize. I'm trying to get better with the rants and just taking up a lot of your time. I personally, it's a measure between your time and my time. You have a fast forward button, I don't have a fast forward button. So whenever I make a video and I have to bring it into my computer and then edit it and all that stuff, it consumes more of my time, which means I have less of my time. So it's kind of a back and forth. So I try not to put very many edits into my videos. And that is just for my own personal satisfaction, so I have ample free time, because I am the type of person that very greatly enjoys my free time. It is my time above anyone else's. I don't care what you say. Yeah, so and you can talk to my friends, my family. It's like, you know, I'm going to do whatever it is that I want to do, and that is it. So, and that's just the way I've been my entire life. So anyway, so a little bit about the construction of these IMs, or some brief observations. So the shell is 3D printed. Let's see how let's see how close we can get in on here. Okay, I just want to get real close up to these shells and kind of show you guys the internals as good as I can without taking them apart. Let me grab a pointing device. Okay, so let's see if I can get sorry, I just need to figure out a good way to show this off without here, maybe. Yeah, that's not very good. Anywho, alright, well, at least we can see it a little bit. So, there's a dampener right there for the mid-high BA, so that's the 2389. And you can just kind of make it out. Alright, so anyway, so there's a little dampener in there. So, all that stuff is pre-formed into this 3D printed cavity. Then you have another one for the dynamic driver just sitting right here, just chilling right there. It's a little hard to see. Let me see if I can make it easier to see. So yeah, so anyway, so you have these cavities, or this area where they molded in for the dampeners. And yeah, so you have one per driver, but a couple things I just wanted to show you and explain kind of how they construct these. Uh-oh, did I scratch that? Oh no, that's just a bit of gunk. Is it? Yeah, that's just a bit of gunk, sorry. So anyway, so they print the shell, alright, and when they design the shell, so they design all these features into it beforehand, so that's where a lot of the expense goes, is just hiring an engineer, someone who can design all this. But yeah, so this connector here, for example, this is just your typical 2-pin connector, like a QDC type connector, But what they did, which is pretty ingenious, is they took like a QDC connector and they just made it flush fit by creating this little cavity in here. And all I have to do is just put a little bit of glue or a little bit of resin in there and just plop the connector in, and now you have a flush fit connector that isn't going anywhere. It's mechanically bonded or mechanically held to the shell by this little section. Let's see, by this little section right in here, and you can see that kind of like little blob of resin or whatever, that area where it's still kind of clear. You see it goes back a ways. So that's a really neat feature. And then so you have this little halfway point here. Now this yields twofold results or whatever. I don't know how to explain it, but so you don't fill the IM completely with resin, because what it does is so it allows you this front half to be transparent, so you can actually see through it, and you can see the features and the details of the drivers. So like we can see, you know, the bottom of the print there where it stopped printing the solid resin, and you can see, you know, the outline of the dynamic driver and the cavity for the balanced armature and kind of how they're laid out within. But also what happens is, so when you stop a print like that and you stop filling the cavity, so now you get this this matte effect where it's like hard to see through. So you know, MATTE, so matte effect. So you have this glossy front, but then you have this matte effect in the back, and that's just from stopping the print and then having an empty chamber. If we were to, and this is the raw print too, it's the texture of the print. So if they were to take lacquer and coat the inside of this whole shell would become transparent. So you would be able to see everything. But if you just leave the raw print like it is, and you don't treat this section here and you don't fill it with resin, then what happens is you get this whole matte effect here that you can kind of see through it a little bit, but it hides all the crossover components and any of the messy stuff, so you don't have to see anything. So it aids in construction, makes construction a hell of a lot easier. And then so another design, I don't know how to explain it, feature, I guess you could say. So I'm not sure how they made these faceplates exactly. I know they did take like various colors of resin and they just kind of swirled them, but I'm not sure what the resin is or how they got it to cure. Maybe it's like, I don't know. I've experimented with different techniques and they've yielded different results, but this seems either like a piece that they just poured a bunch of resin into and then just kind of swirled it around and let it cure, and then maybe they like ground it, like CNC'd it, you know, that kind of thing. Because one of the features of this shell, which is different from like a typical construction, is that the faceplate actually seats down into the shell. That's one of the reasons why these 3D printed IMs are harder to take apart, is because the faceplate actually sits down into the shell itself. Whereas before, this, in like other IMs, like hand-built IMs, this seam right here, there is just empty space. It's either faceplate or it's shell. The faceplate does not tuck inside the shell, and you can see that with this one, where you have this whole like 1/8 of an inch underneath this seam here, where there is still faceplate, and it goes all the way across. Okay, but that allows them to do two things. So it increases the mechanical connection twofold, because they can put a layer of glue in between and then push the faceplate in. So now you have the bond of the glue that are holding the two pieces together, but you also have this friction fit because the faceplate is fit inside the shell. So very clever design. This is something that you see commonly with a lot of the more modern constructed IMs. And this is how they're able to bring the cost down. So essentially any person can build these. These are stupid simple to make. All you need to do is have a PCB, all the parts already laid out, and it's literally just assembly. It's not, when you do it by hand, there's a little bit more effort that goes into it, but this is literally putting Lego pieces together, okay? Oh, and you know what? I just noticed it looks like there's 2 dampeners there, not just one. What? So there are two dampeners. Whoa. I just saw that for the first time. That explains a lot. Okay. Wow, that explains a lot. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, so you have your 2 dampeners here. Wow, that's so double dampeners. So they're really dampening that mid BA. But yeah, so anyway, back to it. So it's basically just like assembling a kit of Lego. You know, you pop the connector in, pop all the drivers in, you know, pop all the dampeners in. It's literally just pop, 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 pop. And then, you know, you can have everything pre-soldered, so the drivers can be already soldered and wired and everything ready to go. They just have one station where somebody just goes and solders, just does nothing but soldering. And then they hand the whole finished soldered, you know, drivers and whatnot to the person assembling, and they just go boop, 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 and pop them all in, just, you know, coat a little bit of glue on it or a little bit of resin, just wipe it on there and stick it in. But yeah, but then so there's one final piece that does take a little bit more effort, and I'm still kind of unsure how they do it. I'm either they have a rig that goes in through the front here and just kind of holds the IM through the nozzle, or it holds it from the 2-pin connectors. So it's essentially a long connector that just kind of holds the IM, because they still have one final pass of resin that they have to paint along the edge, and that is what gives it its shiny appearance or its glossy appearance on the outside. And they have to do the whole thing, and that's what makes it look like one continuous piece of resin, and gives it its traditional like IM look. So after they're done popping all the little Lego pieces together, then they have one final step where they mount the IM on a rig, and I assume it's got to be by the connectors. And then somebody goes with a little detail brush and they paint on the resin, or the lacquer, I should say. Another thing I noticed too here is that, so it looks like, and this could be laser engraving. I'm pretty sure this is laser engraving, because CNC engraving, well, I don't know, they'd probably be the same. So they probably have a rig to hold the shells, okay, after they come out of the IMs. I don't think that this is actually printed, although it could possibly be printed into the shell, because those DLP printers are very high quality. So they do it one of 2 ways. So they create the shell, and they either have like a laser, what do you call it? I just said it. Anyway, like a CNC laser that etches this out, and then they take a little bit of white paint and just go over it with the white paint and then wipe off the excess. Or they actually have this printed into the IM, this feature printed. And but I don't think so, because you see like these little, you see like the little bumps and stuff. That looks like it's machined. So I'm pretty sure it's like CNC machined. But yeah, so either they put it in a rig and the machine goes in, drills all that out, and then they just take white paint and they go on top, or it's printed into the shell, and then they just take the white paint and just go. But yeah, so that's how you get this lettering here. Super easy to do. You can do it with face plates. You can do it. So that's another technique that I'm trying to learn, but unfortunately it's something that you have to do in the PC, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt to learn. But anyway, so yeah, so that's how they achieve that. But yeah, so super cool, super easy to build. The thing that so IAMs before, the way they were built is they would take more effort to build by hand, but they took less effort to design previously, because all you would have to do is just design an empty shell, and you would only really need the outside profile, and the inside profile would follow that same shape. So it was just super simple. But then the hard part would be placing all the tubes, pouring in the resin, you know, sanding off the tubes and stuff, sanding the shell, putting the faceplates on, gluing the faceplates together with the shell, and then, you know, all that finished work. And that's how I do it, but which is basically like the old techniques. But that took way more time and effort, and it was more precise manpower, so, you know, more skills or whatever. But this is just a matter of having a designer, somebody in like CAD, and it takes more forethought to go, okay, so we need to put the dynamic driver here, so we need to have this cavity, and then we need to have a hole that comes through for the vent, and we need to have a shape of this cavity for this, and then this needs to be able to fit this, and that needs to fit that. And so they go over all these different design choices beforehand, and then literally it's just bam, 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 just print them out of the printer. You know, it's just, they poop them out super fast, and then it's just basically assembling Lego pieces. But yeah, so that's how these are made. So very little actual effort in like constructing. It does take some skill still to like paint the resin on and stuff, you know, and the soldering takes a little bit of skill, a little bit of effort, but the rest of it is literally just little Lego pieces that you have to put together. But the real effort, the real thought and effort goes into the design stage, where they have to actually design all the features into the shell, so that way when the printer prints them, it comes out perfect the first time, and they don't have to make any revisions. And also with printing, it makes prototyping a lot easier, whereas before in the past, when you go to make an IM, they would have to, you know, put everything together, do all the tuning and stuff, and then when they need to make any kind of adjustment, they would have to literally build a whole new set and tweak it and write down all the different, you know, changes in measurements and whatnot. This, they just go on the computer and just, you know, make a couple steps that just change like the length of a tube or whatever, or the size of the tube. It's really easy. It's much easier to prototype now than it was, you know, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, before they started using 3D printed technology. And 3D printing technology has been around ever since like 2018, like used in like IMs. Maybe even earlier, like KZ even did it a long time ago, but for whatever reason, it wasn't readily adopted in like this kind of construction. Maybe because the quality of the prints weren't up to standards. But yeah. So anyway, so that's my little ramble. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned a little bit more about the IMs. And the next video, I'll get into the review, and then we'll do a teardown of it as well. So yeah, so that is the Galileo, and I'll let you guys know when pricing and all that comes out. So anyway, I'll catch you later. Peace.